All right, so welcome to, let's see, let me do this again. Good afternoon and or good evening, and welcome to this recovery. I'm sorry, let me start this all over again. Good evening and welcome to this yoga for recovery, realization, and resilience. My name is Brian, and I'm delighted to be here with you today. Um, about once a year, I drop into a practice of restoration or restorative practice, a deep yin practice. That's what we're going to do today. And the difference in this practice is that it involves the extensive use of supports and the longer period of time to be in each posture so that we can actually feel into the full support of the posture. If you have a bolster, please avail yourself of it. If you have blanket or blankets, please, let me show you a bolster in case you haven't seen one of those. That would be one of these big guys here. Bolster, blanket, or multiple blankets, blocks, and a strap, perhaps. Or you can use a rolled up towel or a belt or the sash from a robe is good. Then all that will help you to sort of support your body as you move into these postures, and then we'll be in these postures. Take a moment to make sure you have all that. Take a moment to clear your passageways. We're going to breathe first, bring ourselves into equilibrium. So as always, we'll land, and then we'll raise gratitude and we'll set intention. And then we'll do some activating breath, and then we'll do some balancing breath. And then we'll move into, and we're only going to do about 5 postures today. But in each posture, we're going to spend a significant amount of time, 3 to 5 minutes in each posture so that we can feel into the effect of being supported fully in that posture. And then we'll end, as always, with our nice guided resting. We'll be here about 45 minutes total, give or take, depending on how things go. As always, remember, our first guiding principle is support precedes action. And so ensure that you are supported in your place of being and before you do anything with respect to moving into these invited postures. I'm just going to invite you to do some things from over here. Remember, it's an invitation only. It's a suggestion only. And so your only requirement is to be present and to breathe. Everything else is optional. And so if something's not working for you, stop, come out of it, come into a different posture, modify in a different way. I'm going to show you some modifications here as we move into these postures, but you can adjust those in any way that suits your particular circumstance. Remember, you are in the privacy of your own space by design, and so just be in your practice. All right, let's come into a supported posture and get started here. So find a supported posture, whatever that looks like for you. Take a moment to bring yourself into yourself, feeling into the supports of your posture. Now, the supports of your posture can be found by finding the parts of your body that are in contact with something and feeling into the physical sensation of that connection, that contact. And bringing your awareness to that physical connection as support. What is it like to be supported, to feel your feet flat on the floor, the side of your feet and the side of your calves, the sits bones, the pointy bones at the base of the hip girdle, rooting into whatever you're seated on. Maybe you're lying on your back on the mat with your legs up the wall, feeling the support underneath your spine and behind your legs. However you are, just feel into that for a moment. Establish yourself in support, and then turn your awareness to your breath. Begin to breathe in and out through the nostrils, following the inhale all the way in and the exhale all the way out. This is your yoga right here. Supported, present, and in the breath. Present moment awareness, focused on the breath. On your next inhale, I invite you to float your hands to your heart in a way that brings awareness to your heart space. Feeling the connection of your hands to the heart, feeling the beating of the heart beneath the hands. And I invite you to allow to arise in your heart space gratitude. Turn your awareness to your heart space and see what appears when gratitude is called forth. Maybe one thing for which you're grateful today, maybe just the possibility of gratitude today. Whatever it is, just see that clearly in your mind's eye. And perhaps anchor it there in your heart space for the duration of your practice today. And then I'll invite you to choose to set an intention for your practice today, perhaps a simple intention to just keep your gratitude anchored in your heart space, or to just be right there with each inhale. And whatever your intention is, I invite you to state it to yourself. Hear yourself in your mind's ear as you state your intention in a clear and declarative voice, as if it is already done. And then listening as the echoes of your intention reverberate in your being, I invite you to take a full inhale. And then as you exhale, if you choose to, allow your chin to drop toward your grateful and intentional heart and offer a benediction to seal your intention as I say, Namo, Namaste. And then lift the chin, release the hands, and come to a seated posture. Maybe switching the cross of your legs. If you've been seated, maybe coming, if you were lying down on your back, maybe coming to a seated posture, but find a nice supported seated posture. Our first breath is going to be a breath of fire, a activating breath, and generating an energetic breath, a mind state regulating breath. And so the way that we're going to do this is you have options. The body is very still. The awareness is on the breath in the nostrils. So we're going to be breathing in and out through the nostrils, both nostrils. And we're going to, if you choose, to use the diaphragm a little bit on the exhale. We're going to pull the diaphragm back and down on the exhale, sort of pulsing the belly, if you will, so that you can sort of feel that connection between the diaphragm pulling back and down on the exhale, and then as the diaphragm releases, creating the space for the inhale to come. Very important in this, even though we're emphasizing the exhale, the inhale and exhale are equal in length and in volume and in intensity. So if you feel yourself running out of breath, that means you're overdoing it. So don't overdo it. Just back off and reconnect as you are ready. So we're going to do this. Now, if you like, the option to put your arms up at a 60-degree angle, palms facing forward. So the thumbs are in an arc over the head as if they could touch, and then just open up to 60 degrees, and then fold the four fingers back to the top of the palm. So you got these little kung fu fists, I call them. And this can be your arm movement. This helps to localize the energy in the center of the torso, in the heart space, right? Eyes are closed and focused at the brow point. If you're comfortable with your eyes closed, if you're not comfortable with your eyes closed, just narrow your gaze to something not moving just beyond the tip of your nose, okay? And we're just gonna be here for a little bit. So find your supported posture, root down, lengthen through the spine, align the spine, tuck the chin. Take the arms up if you like, otherwise hands on the knees, palms up, thumb and forefinger together. Take a full inhale. And begin. Now, if you're pregnant or on your menstrual cycle, do not do the diaphragmatic pulsing, just do long, deep breaths. Full inhale, complete exhale. Otherwise, find your rhythm, your pace, your breath, your practice. Keep the spine long, the crown lifted, the arms straight, biceps frame the ears. And just get steady with this. This is very powerful, energizing breath. Very great for changing your current mood. Anytime you need a little boost, you need a little reconnection, you need a little reactivation, just drop into this for a minute or so. 30 seconds more. You got this. Stay with it. Take a full inhale. Extend the fingertips. Bring the thumbs to touch over top of the head. Lengthen, reach up. Lengthen, gently retain this breath. Lift gently at the base of the spine, the pelvic bowl, at the heart. Tuck the chin slightly. See if you can relax the shoulders even though the arms are up. Very steady in the center of your being. When you're ready, exhale slowly down. Sides of your body touch the earth, the ground, and then bring the hands to the knees, palms up, thumb and forefinger together. Full inhale here. Let everything settle. And as everything settles in here, notice your experience. Notice the shift. Notice any changes in your mental, emotional, physical, spiritual state. Maybe that just little practice, you feel a little heat in the belly if you were using the diaphragmatic breathing. Maybe you feel a little energetic in the heart space. Maybe you feel that relaxing around the shoulders and the head. Maybe your mind feels itself settling in. Maybe not. Just notice what you're feeling. And then we're going to balance that energy out that we've activated with a balancing breath, alternate nostril breath. So very simple pattern. We're going to inhale through the left nostril. Pausing at the top of the inhale, we'll exhale out the right. Inhale through the right. And exhale through the left. That's the pattern. Now you can use mental awareness to bring your awareness to your nostrils as you do that, or you can use a hand mudra, blocking the right nostril as you inhale left. And then switching on the exhales. Block the left nostril, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Switching on the exhale, block the right, exhale left. Now settle in and find your rhythm and your pace in your breath and your practice. Switching on each exhale. Be very still in the body. Awareness on the breath in the nostril as you alternate the nostrils. Focus at the brow point if the eyes are closed, or just at the tip of the nose if the eyes are narrowed. Just breathing. Sitting and breathing, knowing that you're breathing in. When you're breathing in, knowing that you're breathing out. When you're breathing out. Maybe you notice things begin to settle a little bit. Maybe you notice that the breath gets a little quieter. Maybe you notice that the inhale and exhale get a little longer. Maybe not. Just be in your own practice. Notice what happens as you settle into your practice. Notice the tendency of your mind and where it wanders to, if it wanders. If you find that it wanders, just be compassionate with yourself and know that that's what the mind does. Come back to the awareness on the breath. Let this be your last round of the pattern, so that when you find yourself exhaling on the left, you release the awareness, release the pattern. Bring the hands to the knees and just take a full inhale. And a complete exhale. Full inhalation. Complete exhale. Inhale here. Exhale here. And then holding your awareness as best you can, bring yourself to your mat. Okay. And we're going to begin with our first posture is going to be child's pose. Now, you have several options here for child's pose. First is if you have a bolster, take your knees out wide so that the bolster can slide between your thighs and your feet. So that your hips are back toward your heels, but they're actually supported by the bolster. Now you pull that bolster up so that it supports your heels, your hips. And then as you hinge forward, it will also support your chest. Now, if you have a block, you bring your block underneath your forehead at whatever height is appropriate for you. Arms extended in front of you. Walk the fingertips out a little bit to find the length. Feel the engagement, and then go ahead and release the elbows and forearms to the mat. So this is a fully supported child's pose. Now you have alternates here. If you don't have a bolster, you can use your cushion and place your cushion on top of your heels and calves. And that will allow you a little bit of support for your hips. And again, you're just using your block at whatever height is appropriate for you to support either your forehead or your chest. Find your supports. Now, if you're not on your bolster, you have the ability to bring your hands back. Usually if you're on your bolster, you're too high to bring your hands back by your feet. But you can experiment with that and see if it feels supported. But if you're having to lift to keep your arms, then you want to release that. So best to just walk the fingertips out, feel the underarm engagement, and then just release the elbows and the forearms to the mat. So now you have supports in the front of the arms, on the forehead, perhaps on the chest, and on the hips. And then you just work to breathe full inhale here, yogic breath, full inhalation and complete exhale, allowing everything to settle. So your body has wisdom. Your body knows what it needs. Your body will open if you allow it to lead you into what it needs to. Your body will open the way that it needs to. So the goal here in these postures, in these extended holds, and these supported postures, is to allow yourself to just be in your body and then allow your body to lead you into wherever you might go. And so work on your breath and release any expectation or idea about how you're supposed to be, and just have a curious
sense of curiosity and awareness around just what is happening. Just allow your body to be the guide to take you where it wants to go, and just go with it. These restorative postures are greatly healing, both physically and emotionally and mentally, because they allow us to focus on trust and trusting our body and trusting the supports that our body has provided for us, or that we have provided for our body. On your next inhale, gently walk your fingertips out. Feel the arms lift and engage. Begin to lift the crown of the head. And then slowly walk your hands back to lift your torso. Remove your block if you have a block. Remove your cushion if you have a cushion. And then come down onto your belly. Take your arms down by your hips, palms up. Let your toes fall open, and then turn your cheek and your temple to the mat. So you're now fully supported on the front side of your body. Now, from here, roll to your back. Let me see if I cushions. And our next posture is supine bound angle. And so what we want to do in this particular posture is support the knees. And so what we'll do is you'll bring the heels toward the ceiling. The heels toward the hips, the knees toward the ceiling, and then just let your knees fall open. And you'll feel the soles of your feet come together. Now, if you're like me, your knees are not going to reach the floor. So this is where we need our support. So we'll take a block or a cushion and place the block or the cushion underneath the outer part of the knee, or maybe even the thigh, so that you feel that support. So if your knees are such that they're not even touching the block, then you bring that block underneath the middle part of the thigh so that you're supported there. If you have a strap, you can actually create a bind with your strap. I'm not going to take you through that level of detail here. Now, if you have a little blanket, maybe the back of your head can be supported. You just fold the blanket lightly in half or in quarters and place the blanket under the back of your head. The hands come to the belly on the abdomen. And why do you do that? So that you have the tactile sense of your abdomen being relaxed here. The posture is one of lack of tension in the abdomen. It's a rest posture, right? So the knees are supported, or the thighs, so they're resting. Hands are on the abdomen. Now, lower back is on the mat. So if your pelvic bowl is tilted so that you have a little arch in your lower back, then work to bring your hips closer to your shoulders so that that lower back is supported. And once you've found your posture, breathe into the release. The abdomen is relaxed. The knees are falling open. And you can adjust the distance between your heels and your hips to find that place where you have maximum release for your knees. So again, it's not about getting your knees to the floor. It's about getting your knees to the place that feels most released for them. So for some people, their heels may be way up by their hips. For other people, their heels may be just down at toward the end of the mat, very little bend in the knees at all. Everyone is different here. This is an opportunity to explore for yourself. Where's the optimum posture to allow yourself to release? And then what you'll feel is the opening through the hip girdle, the inner part of the thighs, and down into the knees. Now, the opportunity in all of these postures, because we're going to be here for a few minutes, is to notice your experience, to pay attention to what happens to you as you kind of work your way into the supported posture. And then once you've established yourself in your support precedes action. The action is to just rest into this, restorative. The key word in restorative is rest. To rest into the posture and notice what happens for you when that happens. For many of us, our mind immediately wants to go in a number of different ways, and our task is simply to notice that, to be curious about that, and then gently and compassionately return our focus to our breath. Check in with your heart space and your intention. Check in with your gratitude. On your next inhale, gently release the hands from the belly. Bring the hands to the knees, outside of the thighs or knees, and then just gently bring your knees together. Be mindful of any blocks or cushioning that you had around your knees. Just clear that space. Might want to keep the blanket under your head for this next posture. So from here, we're going to move into a supine twist. And so what I have you do is extend your legs long. Oh, nice. Wow. I love it when a plan comes together. Okay. All right. So we're just going to simply bring the heels toward the hips, knees toward the ceiling. Take your block and place it lightly between your thighs, so the long way. So it's the inside of your thighs are supported here. You're just gently holding it there. You're not trying to squeeze it to death. You're just gently holding it here. Keep your cushion available here on your left side. And then take your arms out 60 to 90 degrees to create a little space. Inhale here. As you exhale, let both knees fall over to the left, and maybe you use that block or that cushion to support the knees. So again, we're not so much trying to get the knees to reach the floor or any kind of achievement here. We're just trying to open a little bit. So I like the block between the thighs keeps the legs in parallel. I like to think of moving my knees away from my face. Feel that difference more so. And then they'll find their support. So you bring that block underneath the thigh or the knee to the point that it's most supportive for you. Now, if you notice your right shoulder has come up off the floor, you go ahead and back off a little bit and then relax that right shoulder back down, maybe looking over that right shoulder to help release the neck. Breathe here. Allow everything to just work. Again, just notice your experience. Feel into that space where you feel yourself fully supported and you're fully present in your breath. And then you're not even thinking about trying to do this or that or something else with the body. You're just allowing yourself to be here, and then your body will just do what it needs to do. The wisdom of the body. On your next inhale, slowly bring your head back to neutral if you moved your head. Bring the knees back to center. Move your move your cushion or your block to the right side of your body. Make any adjustments you need to feel supported with the block between the thighs. Arms out, inhale here, exhale. Let the knees fall over to the right. And take a moment here to adjust your block or your cushion on your right side to provide the support that you require or would like. And then allow the knees to move away from the face and then let them be.
Pay attention to your left shoulder, make sure that it is relaxed and down on the mat, maybe looking over your left shoulder to release your neck. And then allow yourself to settle into this side, breathing here. And just breathe in across the front of the chest and down behind the left hip, and just allow the opening to occur. Gentle restorative. Gentle is in your mind. What is it like to introduce gentle to your posture? Notice what is different for you when you allow yourself to gently be in a posture. Is it wise? Is there wisdom in being gentle? Allowing the body to open as it is ready and willing to. Never a need to force anything. Many of us have a challenge with feeling like we need to exert ourselves in all of our activities, and sometimes it can be useful and very instructive to take a posture of allowance, allowing the body to open. With your next inhale, gently bring your head back to center, bring your knees back to center. Take a moment here to remove the block, if you have one, between your thighs, and extend your legs. Let your toes fall open, bring your arms in by your hips, turn your palms up. And just take a breath down into the belly. Now you have options here. Bring the heels and toes together, bring the knees toward the ceiling. Now, perhaps you have a bolster or your cushion or your block. 3 different options here. So the heels are toward the hips. The knees are toward the ceiling. Again, the knees are going to be in parallel, so you want to keep the knees together. If you have a block, you want to put your block between your thighs again, that long way, just to kind of help you to maintain that awareness. That's fine. You're going to tilt your pelvic bowl, feel the lower spine on the mat, and then continue to tilt the pelvic bowl so that the buttocks roll up off the mat. Continue to roll up into the lower back, then the middle back, and maybe even the upper back, belly button rising toward the ceiling. This is our bridge pose, and then we're going to support ourselves in the bridge pose. So establish your bridge first, and then if you would like to bring your bolster underneath the hips, not the lower back, the hips. So you may actually feel that on both the back of your heels as well as under your hips. That's one posture. If you don't have a bolster, you can use your block at the appropriate height for you. So adjusting the block for the height that's appropriate, again, underneath the hips, not the lower back.
So below the SI joint, which is the top of the buttocks, find your appropriate posture. And again, if you don't have a block and you have your cushion, you can use your cushion in the same way. So find the appropriate height for you or the appropriate support for you. Now, your weight is not in the head or neck, it's all in the shoulders. So you may want to, again, bring that folded blanket underneath the back of your head for support. The weight is in your shoulders. Not a tendency here of the knees to fall open. So again, you want to keep your inner thighs rotated inward, palms down towards your heels, and just settle in. Ooh, I guess I should put this on here. And again, you're just allowing the body to feel the full support of whatever you're using. It's a question of learning to both trust your body and its wisdom and guidance in leading you, and in trusting your supports. Trusting your block or your bolster or your cushion to hold you. Trusting your mat, your blanket to support you. Allowing yourself to just be in your breath. Gently. Just breathing here with awareness on the inhale and exhale without any shaping. No need, again, without exertion. There's no exertion. We're releasing into the supports that are available to us. Our breath is a support. Take a full inhale. A complete exhale. On your next inhale, gently press into the feet, lift the belly button, remove your supports from underneath you. Bring the lower spine, roll down onto your back, and then release the legs long. And again, toes fall open. Just take a moment here to breathe deep into the belly. Full inhale, palms up by your hips. Complete exhale. Take a moment to inhale the knees into the chest, and then exhale, reach up and grab just below the knees and squeeze, and maybe you feel a little tension and tightness above the SI joint release. Rock a little side to side. Now we have one more posture today, and this may take a moment to build depending upon your situation. If you have a chair, this can be really sweet. And take your chair and open it so that the back of the chair is towards your feet. Now, the posture, you're going to be on your back again. Now, if you have a sweatshirt, a blanket, a sweater, a shawl, something to place over you, you may want to do that so that you can maintain your body warmth here. This is our rest posture today. But if you have your chair, you can bring your feet through the back of the chair so that your knees, the back of your knees is at the front edge of the chair, so the full support along the calves and the ankles. Knees are over the hips, so you scooch. Now, if you don't have a chair, you can use your bolster underneath the knees, or your blocks underneath your legs, or your cushion underneath your knees. All right. Again, you fold your little blanket, quarter or half fold, place it underneath the back of the head, and then place your shawl or your blanket over your torso. And if you have an extra one, you can place one over your legs also. Establish yourself in your posture here. And then settle in. This is your rest posture today. Just let go. If you have an eye cloth, wonderful place for your eye cloth. Cover your eyes. Allow yourself to go fully internal. Feel the full backside of your body supported. Back of the spine on the mat. Back of the head on that folded blanket. Back of the legs on that chair or on that bolster or on that cushion. Hands by the side, palms up. And just let go. Rest. Release. Full release here. Feeling in to the power of support and the wisdom of opening to the support that's available to you. Now, as always, when we go into guided rest, I invite and encourage you to notice the tendency of your mind. Notice where it wanders to. And without any judgment, without any criticism, without any conversation, just gently and compassionately bring your mind back to your breath. Without shaping the breath, just be there with each inhale. Just notice how the breath gets very quiet and still as you rest. And if you find that it's challenging to keep your mind centered on your breath, then simply suggest to your mind that it track your body, starting at the crown of your head and moving slowly down to the soles of your feet, systemically, just tracking down the body and just being curious about what's happening in your body. And you can suggest to the mind that it look for tension or tightness or contraction or constriction. And no need to do anything if it finds it, just noticing. It's an awareness exercise where, as I track down through my skull, do I have any tension? In my jaw, perhaps, or the back of my throat. In my neck or shoulders, the shoulder blades, the shoulder caps, the back of the arms, the hands or fingers, the upper chest, upper back, the thoracic area, the rib cage, front, back, sides, the abdomen, side body, at the waist, maybe in my hip girdle, thighs and knees, calves and shins, ankles, heels, insteps, soles of the feet or the toes, anywhere, just noticing. And allowing things to be as they are. Just being present.
Aware of your own experience.
Now you have options here. For many of you, you may be very content in this moment, in this supported, rested posture. And so I invite and encourage you to stay. Otherwise, as you begin to reconnect your awareness to your body and prepare to move your body to come out of this posture, I encourage you to be very conscious and intentional about it. Take your time. There's no hurry. There's no rush. There's no where you need to be. There's nothing you need to do. As always, I encourage you to slowly restore your breath. And then when you're ready, gently move maybe your fingers and your toes. Maybe opening your eyes if your eyes have been closed. And depending upon how comprehensive your restorative space was, if your legs are on a chair, for instance, or over a bolster, just take your time and slowly and gently extricating yourself from that. And wherever you are, whether you're staying here in your rest posture for a while, or whether you're working your way back into an active state, as always, I invite you to take a moment to check in with your heart space, to allow to arise perhaps one more thing for which you are grateful. Take a moment to accept my gratitude for you. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your practice. I'm honored to be here, truly. And I encourage you and invite you to please take your echoes of your practice and your gratitude with you as you go through the remainder of your day, lifting yourself and all that you come into contact with. Have an amazing day.